Hey everyone, welcome back to Saturday Morning Toy Tunes, the weekly live stream here on my show, in which we all gather around the modern day campfires of our iPhone screens and computer monitors and televisions and talk about things that happen in the week in geek. I'm seeing now that we have sound. I tried this stream once before. It is now deleted, so it no longer exists. We will speak of it no more. That's all I have to say about that. All right, so here it is. Excuse me. I got some coffee stuck in my throat. Dark roast, bitter, love it. Lots to talk about this week. I want to talk about the fact that I, for some reason, have forgotten that Doctor Who is a thing again, and I'll have some thoughts on that here in a little bit. It's a personal thing, so I'm interested to hear if anybody else is having a similar experience. Oh yeah, music. That's kind of important. It didn't get brought back up after the computer rebooted. I guess it was the computer that needed to be rebooted, because everything seems to be working now. So let's just shuffle this stuff. All right, we're gonna start out with a rockin' tune. I like it. Yeah, and at the top of the hour, I will be unboxing and posing up the Hot Toys Anakin Skywalker Artisan Edition 6-scale figure from Revenge of the Sith. Very topical because this weekend, Revenge of the Sith is back in theaters. That's very exciting. I myself already have my ticket purchased, and I'll be going to see it at some point this weekend. So yeah, that's fun. What are you guys up to this weekend? Also, obviously, biggest thing that happened to me this weekend was the drop of Andor Season 2, the first story arc, the first year in Andor Season 2. Lots to talk about there, a lot of things to think about. I've been thinking about this while I'm in the lull between the initial attempt at the stream and the this version of the stream. And what I've come to realize, what my guess is that it's because Ahmed is back in the chats for the first time in a long time. I'm blaming you, Ahmed, as always. Yeah, for all things, just because. Love you, man. Welcome back. Good to see you here. Okay, so without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and start getting into the comments. Yeah, okay, but before I do, Doctor Who. Doctor Who premiered, I don't know how many weeks ago, 2, 3, 4? How long's it been now? Anybody know? The issue that I'm having is that I keep forgetting that it's back. I don't know what that says about the show, or if it says something about me or what's going on. I know that when I watched the first episode of the first season, I was like, okay, that was Doctor Who. It was kind of fun, cool. Interested to see where that goes. I mean, I love Ncuti Gatwa. I think he's a fantastic doctor. He's a lot of fun. But for whatever reason, I don't think it's grabbing me on that visceral level that the likes of the David Tennant years. I'm sorry, I have an injured arm. I'm going to physical therapy, and they had me start a new exercise to repair my forearm this week. The motion is kind of like starting over here with a therapy band, and just starting with my hand tip this way and stretching it all the way over here while turning my fist, supinating my hand this way. And what inadvertently wound up doing was hitting me in my triceps, which apparently haven't been worked out in decades or something. I don't know, because I'm in so much pain and I don't have full range of motion. I haven't had full range of motion since like midday Thursday. And like it was waking me up last night. I was in so much pain. The stretching, it's just trying to stretch out that it's in such a way that it's causing me so much pain. I don't dig it. I'm not happy about it. I'm getting distracted by your comments, and they are hilarious. Thank you, everybody, for brightening my day, especially after a cluster schmuck like what just happened. So tell me your thoughts. What are your thoughts on the new Doctor Who? Because apparently it's not grabbing me. I don't know. Maybe I'll watch it this evening and catch myself up. I have been distracting myself with things like Andor and with binging the final season of You, which I also have thoughts on that. I feel like I don't know how many people out there are watching You, but it's a Netflix series about a serial killer who's ridiculously manipulative. He doesn't recognize how misogynistic he is, but he's clearly very misogynistic. And I feel like the first few seasons of that series, people were really looking at the character whose name is Joe as sort of an anti-hero, and they were almost just like, this guy's amazing. I know I was to a certain level, and it had been a while since the previous season. And when I sat down to start watching this, it made me feel very uncomfortable. I found myself no longer at all in Joe's corner. I mean, don't get me wrong. I recognize that Joe as a serial killer and the things that he did were inarguably bad, but he was no longer like a remotely likable. So I don't know if I've changed or if the writing has changed or what's going on there. But I walked away from the final season without giving anything away, just having a completely different feeling. Like if I were to, I'm wondering what would happen if I were to go back and binge watch that whole series, because I don't think that I will. I don't know how I could. It's just too time consuming. 10 episodes per season, 5 seasons, 50 episodes, 50 hours out of my life. No freaking way. But yeah, it's a tough one. I'm going to go ahead and bring up some of these comments here really quick. You're not supposed to like serial killers, says Steve Nara. Yes, that's exactly true. And yet everybody adores Hannibal Lecter. I mean, obviously he was a frightening serial killer in The Silence of the Lambs, but the subsequent movies cast him as a bit of a... He was fun to watch. Serial killers are not to be liked, yes, but they can be fun to watch, as we see with Hannibal Lecter, as we see with Joe, and Dexter as well. Exactly. So it's tough. It's tough, man. But it also brought to mind when I was watching the final episode last night that the Vader worshippers, the people who are into Star Wars, who are very much pro Empire, not just in their attitude, not just in, say, the things that they collect, but the way that they talk about the characters. Vader is so badass. Palpatine is so badass. Let's bring back Palpatine. And I get the fact that you want to have a villain that you can at least in some way maybe relate to, or just someone who's interesting or fun. But sometimes reading people's comments and hearing how people talk about Darksiders, that song's just way too upbeat for this conversation. The way that people talk about Darksiders and everything, it very much seems like hero worship to me, and it has always disturbed me because I don't feel that way. As much as I admire the stories of the bad guys in Star Wars, or the stories of serial killers in various TV shows and films, at some level, I recognize they are the bad guy, and they're not to be emulated. But it seems like there are a lot of people, and I'm looking at, not to get political, but there's a guy who was involved with the last administration who legitimately was talking about the Empire as a form of government to be emulated because of the power that they had. And that guy's still involved with the current administration, although to a much lesser degree. He's very supportive and very vocal about it. I'm not going to drop any names, but it's really frightening to me, because once people start thinking that that the Empire is a good thing, then, and those people get into power, that's frightening as hell. That's frightening as hell. And it bothers me on so many levels, not the least of which is because this tariff nonsense continues. And frankly, I'm worried about my job. So, yeah. Anyway, what's Lane have to say? It must be like you run around in Star Wars: The Old Republic as part of the Sith Empire. Most of the time you're running as a Sith Lord murder machine. Yeah. It's the same thing. But what I'm noticing is kind of like a paradigm shift. That I'm hoping continues. They're no longer being portrayed as being that likable. That's what happened with. I think that's what happened with you, because again, nothing at all likable about what was going on in you. About what was going on with Joe, what Joe was doing. At no point was I rooting for him. At least not that I can remember. Anyway, that was a lot of binging. Anyway, but enough about that. Moving on to other things that happened this week. I don't know if anybody commented on it yet, but the new Ghost record dropped this week. And I went to a midnight, I wish I'd brought up photos. I went to a midnight record release party on Thursday night for the new Ghost record, which is called Skeletá. And it was a lot of, it was an experience. Let me put it that way. What I've come to realize is that the Ghost fandom has also shifted. And I'm going to get this comment now because it's no longer relevant. Ow. Arms. I'm going to cry a lot during this stream, so just accept it. But the Ghost fandom has shifted. When I first started going to Ghost shows back in 2013, Ghost fans were the metalhead type. You know, you saw them, you'd see some dressing up in corpse paint or dressing up as satanic nuns or whatever. And it was fun. It was cool. It was interesting to talk to those people. But the people that were in line with me at this show, the ones that were, first of all, I talked to no one. I tried, but no one was interested in talking to the person who was inarguably the oldest guy in the room. Everybody else, I think the second oldest person below me was probably in their 30s. So I've got 20 years on them probably. And everybody, so I just sat there and on my phone and just listened to people talk amongst themselves. And I was like, you guys are geeks, man. I mean, they were carrying on conversations about the lore, because there was a story behind that goes from album to album in Ghost's lore. And they were just talking to each other like this was an actual universe. They had headcanon going on. It's very much a fandom now in the way that Star Wars is a fandom. If you haven't checked out Ghost, I highly recommend the new record. It could be a good starting point. It's definitely the least metal of all of Ghost's offerings, and it's very much more of a personal album, I think, for Tobias Forge, the man who is essentially Ghost. It's a project of his with, I don't know, he's got musicians working for him, like tour musicians who I think they've been pretty consistent over the past couple of tours. I know that one of the guitar players was let go last year or the year before that. My guess is because he published a photo that showed all of them without their masks. And part of the whole thing is that no one is supposed to know who these people are, who these musicians are. There's an anonymity thing that they try to adhere to when it comes to just the musicians. Tobias was outed years ago. He kind of fought it for a little while, but yeah, I guess he finally gave up. But yeah, fun stuff. Go check it out. If you like 80s rock, pop metal, that kind of thing, then this could very well be your literal jam. Because I mean, one of the songs is so unapologetically Journey-esque in certain elements, with elements of Bon Jovi as well. They're thrown in there for good measure. It's a lot of fun. I really dig it. And finally, Andor. I'm so sad that Tony was only given one season to wrap up the story instead of the four that he had originally intended to do to wrap up the first season. And I think that it's kind of showing. It feels a little bit rushed. I would love to have seen everything that was supposed to have happened over the course of 10 or 12 episodes as opposed to 3 episodes that we saw this week. But what we did see was delightful. Some of the best writing, if not the best writing, to have yet happened in Star Wars. Some of the most interesting and compelling characters that we've seen in Star Wars. There is a lot of metaphor to modern sociopolitics. So yeah, just pay attention to it. And like, I know that some people are just like, why did we have to spend an entire episode basically on a planet, I won't say its name, with a bunch of loser wannabe rebels? Because those people are out there in the real world. They exist. They flat out exist. I saw echoes of that group of people on that planet in the Proud Boys, for instance. Just bunch of idiots who want to be soldiers, I guess. I don't know. But intelligence exists on a sliding scale, folks. And we got to see a darker side of the rebellion in that episode. Wow, we got some comments about Ghost. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Don't mind authoritarianism in the abstract, as long as they are the ones in charge. That's why Andor is structured the way it is, to show the rebellion as a response to oppression. Yeah. And it's doing that remarkably well. I mean, that stuff that was happening in basically, I think, pretty sure that was Tarkin's enclave, where they were holding the meeting about taking over that planet. And you can imagine that conversation actually happening in the halls of government in various countries. It's frightening. It's frightening. Back to Battle with Media. Tobias, back to Ghost. Tobias hasn't fully given up, but he still has fun with it. In 2019, I asked him about the writing of Kiss the Go-Goat, and he said, I don't know, that was 50 years ago. I wasn't born yet. Yeah, you told me that story once. I'm glad you were able to share it with everybody else. And I think I've shared with you because I've met Tobias now 4 times in character. I think it's 4, but it might just be 3. And the last time that I met him, I bought a VIP ticket, so I got to just have a meet and greet and a photo op with him. And I was like, we meet again. He was like, oh no, yeah, that wasn't me. That was the other guy. And he carried that on for like a minute, and then he was just like, no, seriously though, thanks. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. But oh god, these I feel like I should go to the top and just start doing the comments. Yeah, I'm going to do that, if only because I got a late start and I do have somewhere to be after this ends. So yeah, let's try this again. Big Dog Pound is here, but one thing good about starting late is that Big Dog Pound gets here on time. Yeah, it's true. Let's see, Rob Parisho is here. Hello, Rob. As I saw earlier, Lane Kramer is here. Jogron. Primetime Reviews is here. What's up, dude? Bitter Troll is here. That's great. You can't blame Magneto. He was right all along. And I am, after all. What was it? Which version of Magneto is this? Age of Apocalypse? Yeah, I am totally Age of Apocalypse Magneto. That should be my cosplay. Maybe someday. I'll do an ASMR posing stream. That could be fun. Mike Gomez is here. What's up, man? Keith Lee. All right, cool. I'm scrolling very quickly through these comments, so forgive me if I skipped you. Like I almost did Universal Key and Nelson Mendoza. Very on brand for Anakin. I hadn't considered that, but I'll take the win. Yeah. Yeah, this is a great figure. Also, yeah, I've got Thrawn coming in next week. So let me know if you want that to be the figure du jour for next week's stream. And I also have a Night Trooper down here that has been just sitting here, not being open for like weeks now. I've had it sitting next to me for the past 4 streams. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you. Took Miles on Thursday to watch it. Seeing his reaction scene in the big screen was awesome. Baby looking at that's cool. That's fun. I think at some point I would have liked to have had a child. Now that I'm in my 50s and I don't, I'm kind of grateful that I don't. I frequently say it's not possible for me to hug my vasectomy, but if I could, I would. Oh, this is the comment I was talking about that was cracking me up. Yeah, totally a Macintosh. Stab. Thank you for being consistent. Oh, I never know that. Yeah, sorry, Flipping Kicks, and welcome to the stream. I don't think I've seen your net handle before on here. If I have, I apologize. Wow, this coffee's really grabbing me. I'm getting kind of jumpy. Yeah, it's. I can say this based on observation. Once the blogger photos drop, that means that the figure is either on the water or almost on the water, which means it's on a boat crossing the Pacific. From there, it depends on how quickly the boat gets across the Pacific, how quickly they're able to get it through the port in Los Angeles or Long Beach or wherever they take those things, and then get them onto a truck and up to Sideshow. I want to say that the bulk of the time that it takes to get to Sideshow's warehouse is probably spent, and we're talking weeks here, is probably spent in LA traffic. So yeah, it's hard. It's hard to gauge. I know that I'm hoping, and the reason that I haven't actually had my my Thrawn figure shipped yet is because I'm genuinely hoping that the Sand Trooper and Dewback show up before then, and because I want them all to ship together. All right, we're on to Doctor Who in the comments. I'm just not going to have any life on Wednesdays, am I? Or I guess Tuesday nights. Is Tuesday nights when Andor episodes drop? I'd forgotten that it dropped. I was planning on working late on Wednesday, and instead wound up watching Andor season 2. I felt stupid. I was like, how do I not know that Andor dropped today? How do I not know that? Apple TV Plus had to remind me that Andor had dropped. Yeah, that was also my experience with the first Doctor Who episode. So nice to know that continues, I guess. David Tennant is a high bar to set. However, I will say that he is my third favorite Doctor. I flip back and forth between Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi. And mostly because I think Matt Smith came along when I was going through my midlife crisis. And then Peter Capaldi came in, which, by the way, Matt Smith is so clearly the Doctor's midlife crisis in so many ways. And then Peter Capaldi comes in, and he's just this aged Doctor, and he does it so well, and he deals with some of the stuff that I feel like I was dealing with at the time. So, yeah, it felt very close to me. That being said, David Tennant is a fabulous, fabulous Doctor. Rune Samuelson is here. What's up, dude? Welcome. Scandinavia represent. Justin McFly is here. Wow, got a lot of people here that I don't see all the time. Guess Darth Vader brings all the kids to the yard. Sunnyvale Russ is here. What's up, dude? Yeah, some people do. And at the time, I liked older Ghosts. I liked them a lot, and I still like their stuff. That being said, every new album has been, I don't know if it's a recency bias thing, but I've liked every new album more than I like the previous one. It's interesting. And yeah, the new LP is very cool. I've only listened to it twice now. I'm still waiting to form a firm opinion about it, because I do have some confirmation bias that I'm dealing with in regards to that. A lot of people did. It was actually fun. When I told you I was listening to all the kids that were in line for the new Ghost record at Record Space here in St. Louis. And they were talking like they've been part of this thing forever. And I guess from their perspective, maybe they feel like they have, but I legitimately was just like, don't quote the old magic to me, which I was there when it was written. So many Journey vibes. I think a lot of people did. They borrow frequently. They unabashedly rip off other bands. Ritual is totally Megadeth. No denying it. And I think that they knew it while they were doing it. And I know that they know that. Is it Prime Mover? I can't remember which song it was that they ripped off Duran Duran for. Mm. Yeah, Jen brings up, it's like, and just so everybody's clear, Ghost does in fact have a track on the new album named after this guy. All right, now we're caught up to where I was. Watched a poli-sci discussion on the first 3 episodes. They pointed out a repeated line by 2 opposing characters that I completely overlooked. Do me a favor and message me with a link to that, because I'm very interested to hear that. If you want to imagine that I will be listening to it while in the shower, then you can, because I will be. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, it has been a long time. The way that they do things, it takes a while. Not using the volume to the extent that the other shows do, there's a price to be paid in terms of time and money. Yeah, but I don't know that anybody would try to emulate an alien or a predator. Their alien nature kind of prevents that. But it's easier to adopt the standards of the Empire into your day-to-day political life. Yeah, maybe. I just would have liked to have seen more. I would like to have seen it be an ongoing thing. And if what Mike says is true, and I have no reason to believe otherwise, then yeah, when you put it into that perspective, 5 years, they would have had to do like a season a year, and I don't think that's feasible. Yeah, again, I don't have a firm love of the new record yet from Ghost. That being said, I have to acknowledge that I didn't really appreciate Satanized when I first heard it either. And now I don't want to say I'm obsessed with it, but comparatively speaking, you could say that I am. Loving that guitar solo. That guitars just wail in that so hard. And in Lacrima as well. The solo in Lacrima isn't as blistering as the one in Satanized, but the way that they overlay, the way that the solo extends through the bridge after the solo ends and the bridge begins, and the solo, the guitars are still playing, and then they hit you with the 2-part harmonies in the guitars. I'm like, oh God, I cannot wait to see this live. From what I understand, they're only doing a couple of songs off the new album right now. That's true to form. I believe that it just takes time for them to develop the stage show around each song. So they'll add a song here, add a song there until it gets up to full speed. Hopefully by July, they have all my favorites acclimated into the show. Now, that being said, I haven't actually looked at a set list of any of the recent shows, so they may have already done that. Disney does have a budgeting problem they need to fix, and maybe Andor was always too big. Yeah, I can't argue that at all. I don't know that anybody could. I think everybody has a budgeting problem. I'm puzzled about how streamers make money. I don't understand it, but as long as I get great content like Andor, they can keep doing what they're doing. So spending as much time working on his hair as you do on those targets? No, not at all. Not at all. In fact, I typically don't do much with the hair at all. I'll show everybody when I unbox it how it works. I'll get you a good close up and poke at it with the tool and everything. But yeah, I have no Hot Toys coming in. Wow, dude. Congratulations on your restraint. Yeah, I'm going to start exercising some restraint very soon here. In fact, I was originally saying September, but now it looks like July. I will start pulling back. Okay, 8 p.m. Central, so that'll keep me up till 11. I can do that. If I stayed up till 2 the other night for Ghost, I can stay up till 11 for Star Wars. Yeah, I did too for a little while there back when I lived in California. I made the shift from, I was a CD guy obviously for years, and then I recognized, well, my wife at the time made me recognize that it was taking up a lot of space in the house. She was always concerned with space and stuff, the accumulation of stuff, the way she put it. And then vinyl became a thing. And before I knew it, I had 600 records. So yeah, that had to stop. Andor, I like that each block of episodes doesn't try to cover the whole year it represents. Yeah, that's something that I had to figure out. Both storytelling and editing wise, because for some reason the switches, the cuts between different scenes, different sets, whatever settings, it was jarring for me, very jarring. And I was worried about it, but then I watched all 3 episodes again last night, and I was like, nah, they did this in the first season too. They did this as well in the first season, and it's fine. Yeah, well, that never stopped me. It's like, and from a certain point of view, my entire Hot Toys collection is on loan to an extent. All right, so we're caught up with the comments, and it is the top of the hour. Even though I started 30 minutes late, I do want to go ahead and dive into this figure. Picture 160 power steering, a tiny Marcel. Yeah, wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? All right. Come on over, Anakin Skywalker. Darth Vader, come on down. It's positioned pretty well there. Scooch my butt over. Get rid of this comment. All right, so there's the box. Now that that's out of the way, I feel like I can turn this up a little bit. Two-thirds of a step ought to do. It's a little bit on the dark side. Somebody was complaining. Now I don't want to say complain, but made a comment about the dark background and the dark figure, and I realized, yeah, I have a dark eye when it comes to my camera settings, and normally it works to my benefit. It's actually a part of my style. That's just how I describe it, or that's the excuse that I use for it. But hopefully that helps a little bit. Now you can actually see there's some separation that's been created there, and probably wouldn't hurt if I turned this light up a little bit in the background. 1 sec. There we go. That's working a little bit for me. Turned my hair a little bit yellow, but that's all right. This my particular box, the cigar band is loose. Oh well. So what you got here is a slipcover, and it's basically standard Hot Toys Star Wars box, but because it is a DX, that slipcover does indeed slide off to reveal the glorious DX packaging beneath, which is something to behold. Am I right? There's a lot going on in there. And I'm trying to hit the light just right because there are reflective qualities beneath all of that, all that color. Like, you don't quite see it very well there, but then you turn it and you can actually see the face of Obi-Wan Kenobi. And back there is that? Yeah, that's you got Palpatine here. You've got General Grievous here. You've got Padme, a clone trooper. You've got Yoda. It's like the entire cast and characters loving the Jedi logo right here, the Jedi sigil, emblem, whatever. Wow, that is some really bold Disney branding right there, right? That's distracting. I gotta say, I don't like it. Don't make that be a thing, Disney. There's no reason for that. It's not cool. DX34AE, signifying that this is the 34th DX series collectible from Hot Toys and the Artisan Edition version of it. So let's go ahead and slide this off. Yeah, just loving that chrome that's going on behind. For whatever reason, my camera is choosing not to focus on the figure. I did change the settings so that I think it's actually picking my face as the point of focus. So let's see if let's see if my camera actually gets in a fight with itself over Anakin's face and mine. Wow, this is pretty spectacular. Freaking cool. In typical DX fashion, we have here an insert. Foam-backed insert. I'm going to pull this out and see if I can. Okay, nothing will fall. Uh-oh. Oh, crap. This is awkward. This is sideshows because Anakin's not in it. Oops. Okay, let me go get him. I grabbed the wrong box from downstairs. That's what I get for being in a hurry, getting up late. Okay, well, so we don't get to have the full unboxing experience that I wanted to give you guys. And the plus side is he's posed. Oh, man. Yeah. And I'm right there with you, Ryan. I am right there with you. I think that it's I think that they should be coming soon. It's been a long time since they dropped. I was very sad that they didn't send that one to me to do a first look for, but there's a lot going on at work. They're busy, and they know I'm busy too, so we're just trying to give me a break. Oh, okay. So how to do this? I got to break form. God, I hope all the other accessories are in there, because if not, I don't know where I put them. Nope, they're in there. Okay, good. So when you open up the DX packaging, let's move Anakin aside. When you open up the DX packaging, now typically this figure ships headless and is residing right here in this little cutout in the foam. And in this little vault here, this little acrylic vault here, you'll find the portrait, the head sculpt. They do this with all of the rooted hair versions, the woolen hair. I don't think rooted is the appropriate term. This is all on Ahmed. Thank you for making this happen. God, man, relentless, just relentless. Look, Vader says he's in danger. Nice, Ryoku. Yeah, it's so yeah, everything. Basically, everything comes here. You've got hands up here. You've got the mechanical arm, which is really neat. All the materials for the light up lightsabers are actually in there. That's good to know, because I hope to bring those into the pose. Oh, whatever Sideshow's cost is, minus a bit of a discount as an employee discount. It's not much of a discount, but it's a welcome one. I think I may have even said too much there. I'm not sure how much I'm supposed to say, but Futurama, when I see capsules they use for the artisan heads, yes, definitely. I was not a Futurama guy, but I know what you're talking about, and yeah, that's funny. Anyway, so imagine that this thing is in here. You're taking this little guy out, and underneath you find the instructions, which are out of the plastic, because I actually use them. That's right, Paul Sun Hyun Lee. Don't act shocked. You know that it's a lie. And in here you would find the cloak, which is currently residing, obviously, on the figure. It will be wrapped around this, and beneath that, looks like I've got his force gesturing hand out of the box, as well as in the plastic. There's another weird kind of hand that I didn't put back where it belongs. Just kind of threw it in there. I actually thought that I had sent this back to Sideshow. Okay. Anyway, so let's go ahead and pull these plastic bits out. This can be a pain to get off, which is fine, because I would rather have it be hard to remove than too easy to remove. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want these things to just come off inadvertently and spill all your accessories all over the place. So what am I going to do with this? What am I going to do with this? I'm not going to put that there. I'll crush it with the desk later. All right, so what's in here? What's in the box? So I'm going to set this here for now. Look at that. It's going to, okay, it is genuinely focusing on my eyes. So I gotta fix that. I tried something new. It's not working. 1 sec. All right. And I still have that ridiculously expensive 35mm f1.2 lens on the camera. So yeah, let's focus on that. Grab focus. There we go. Good. All right. So this is the mechanical arm, which is, to my mind, much more highly detailed. You've got a rotation point there, which is cool. There is a pivot joint that also rotates right there, and every single digit is articulated, which is nothing new. We've seen this with other versions of the mechanical arm, as well as C-3PO and various other characters who have such digits. But yeah, that's pretty rad. I will not be posing this thing up with this today. It is laborious and time consuming to get that arm onto the figure, and I just don't have a lot of time. Two motion blades, one blue and one red. You can see how the color kind of fades from darker to more transparent in one side to give the illusion of it actually being mid-swing. I dig that about it. I love that they did that. And two static blades. Jeez. I wish I had more room on my desk. For the past 3 days, I have had on my list of things to do, clean off your desk. Guess what didn't get done this week? Yeah. Two static blades. Yeah. That's what we'll be using today. Throw out post suggestions. What do you guys want to see this guy do? Within reason. By the way, love that base. I'll have to take the figure off the base and show that to you. We have two lightsaber hilts. Anakin's and Count Dooku's. So yeah, that's again indescribably well detailed. Just by way of comparison, let's see if I can reach it. I don't know if I can. Oh yeah, it's right here. All right, this is my God, man, my hair's just being crazy today. That's what I get for not washing it for days. This is my home-built Graflex saber, and do a comparison to its 6 scale equivalent. Let's see, let's get that right. So yeah, pretty good, right? That is ridiculously accurate, and there's a lot of dust on that lightsaber. That's better. Where am I going to put it? This thing is a tank. Just drop it. Let's see. What else can I show off here? That's pretty much it. Oh, wait, we got a gloved hand here. So half the hands are gloved, obviously, because his cybernetic arm, he wears a glove over it. And yeah, this is, I guess it feels like a force gesturing hand of some kind, like push or grab or choke. Yeah, that's a choke hand. That is totally a choke hand when you hold it up like that. Yeah, liar! Oh, I don't know. I have no idea what you mean. I didn't intend to aim anything at you, so. Be careful with those tiny joints. Why, have you broken them? I myself have not. That I can recall, and we all know how good my memory isn't. Okay, so here is the power pack. I'm going to use the mount for the power pack mount for the stand. I don't like putting these power packs from. They also come with a belt mount, little clip right there that can be hung on Anakin's belt. These come with every single figure that I can think of, at least ones with belts. Like I don't think one like that came with Spider-Man, for instance. But I just really stress out about putting that pressure on the fabric of the belt. I don't want to damage the belt in any way. These things are already delicate enough without tempting fate that way. Little forward lean, the tension in the arms. You know, this brings up an interesting point. I think it was on the first look video for Anakin, actually. There was a comment in there where the guy said, this is the worst posing that I've seen in my life. Really? And I'm guessing it's because I went for screen accuracy in the poses that I used on Anakin. If you watch Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker in Revenge of the Sith, in the really hardcore battle with Obi-Wan, those guys are really going at it. It looks like they're really trying to tear each other apart. And but for the most part, when he's battling, say, battle droids, or even when he's battling Count Dooku, his posture's pretty stiff. And I replicated that. This is great. I love this about the cloak, by the way, that it just drapes over the shoulders. There's no clasp. Beautiful. Beautiful. Fine fabric material there. Downscales very nicely. Very true to the look of the costume. Wired in the hood, but not in the hem, and I'm fine with that. This cloak, I've said it before, and without meaning to sound demeaning, but most collectors do not lack the skills to properly pose a cape and make it look good, at least to my standards. It's a good thing when in cloaks like this they don't include the wired hem, because I've seen what happens with those and it's not pretty. Oh, this is handy. I've already got the wired lightsaber run through his tabards and everything, so that's one less thing. Because to do this properly, and I've not really done it fully properly here, you need to run the wires of the lightsaber through his tabards to hide them. If you're really going to go all out, then you could take off the belt, take off the cummerbund, take off the tabards, undo the tunic, and run it up the vambrace here, in through the sleeve, and down the tunic, so that it's coming out the bottom of the tunic back here. And that's an extremely effective way of hiding that wire. I don't care so much about it. But if you really wanted to heighten the sense of realism in your display, then that's a little bit of extra effort that you might put into it. Love this. Okay. All right. So, yeah, I'm thinking just standard lightsaber on guard pose. I was just kissing Dobby this morning. He insisted. Very lover-like. Very lover-like. I was tickling his belly, and I just kind of like leaned in and gave him a quick kiss on his forehead, like right above his eyes right there. And he just kind of like rolled over and stretched, and then just really moved his snout right into my face and just gave me a quick kiss, the 3 kisses on the nose. And I was like, wow, dude, that's pretty intimate. Even after all these years, I don't think we're there yet. All right, so I've already got the eyes posed. You know, I'm just going to try to make this a short stream since we've got everything already set up here. But you can see that the eyes are obviously independently articulated. And while I've got him on screen there, let's go ahead and move him close so that you can get a good look at that hair. Look how realistic that hair looks. And I have not touched this. I think I took the tool in the video and I poked at the hair a little bit here in the back just to showcase that it was, in fact, and I don't have the tool out. Oh, it's right here in the box. But you can use this tool to style up the hair, and you can just kind of show how it just kind of moves right there. Look at that. But out of the box, this is what it looks like. And you can style it up to your heart's content, but for being right out of the box, I think this looks great. Now, I've heard there have been issues with the hair, people's hair not sticking to the scalp. Maybe. I don't know. They're producing thousands of these things, so mistakes are going to happen. And the people that you hear about it from are the people who actually have that happen to them. It's what they call a vocal minority. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. And I also think that it's something that can be easily fixed. Whether by contacting your distributor and requesting a switch, an exchange, or by just fixing it yourself. Learn a new skill. If I ever get an artisan figure that has that issue, I will make a video of me repairing it. Yeah, you know, that's the thing, is that there's not a bit of, I'm going to bring this up for infographic. Yeah, for Tony, that's the thing, is that not a bit of this is black. None of it's black. This is not black. This is a very, very, very dark brown. And I don't know if it will come across as such, but yeah, it's totally reading as brown. All of this is brown. There's not a bit of black on this entire figure except like right there at the lightsaber clamp. So, and just showing that black there by the lightsaber clamp, you can see the contrast between that and the darkness of the tabard, and how the tabard is in fact brown and not black. But I agree. It looks black on screen, but it is not in fact black. That's just as with Han's coat on Hoth. It's just the all right. So, I'm thinking back, like so, like not quite like a baseball thing, but let's see if the arm is capable of doing that. As we know with these figures, I'm gonna take this comment down. No, I am not. I don't have a need for it. Even this was outside of my collecting limits that I placed for myself. So, whatever. It's super cool, and I wish I could get it. And the reason I wish I could get it is because for those who don't know, I have been honored by my alma mater, Webster University, in that they have asked me to come to, they have a really swank photo gallery on campus. And they've selected me to be their annual alumnus whose art they feature in a 4 to 6 week gallery exhibit there. And I have more than enough images for the gallery exhibit, but I want to do some new stuff. And one of the things that I would like to do, this is going to be fun. And if anybody has any suggestions on this, because I'm still in the planning stages for this. So if you have any suggestions on how I can go about doing this, please send me links or send me advice, because I really am eager to do this. But there's that bit in Ahsoka where Anakin is, it happens twice. Once when Anakin is marching away from young Padawan Ahsoka into the smoke of battle with the clones. And as he's marching away, there's an explosion behind him that illuminates him from the front, puts him into silhouette, and it becomes the silhouette of Darth Vader with the red lightsaber, just for a flash. And then there's another moment where they're back in the world between worlds, and it's adult Ahsoka laying on her back, having just been knocked back by Anakin, and he's coming out of the smoke, all Sithy red-eyed with his red lightsaber. And once again, you get that flash, and then you get the silhouette of Darth Vader marching towards her. And what I want to do is I want to get a photograph. I want to make a photograph of Anakin marching flanked by some clones, marching towards the camera with a bunch of cool, like I've got like a Hasbro AT-TE that I want to have in the background, silhouetted. I've got like a bunch of gunships from Micro Galaxy Squadrons that I want to throw into the mix, or at least one into the mix, and just do this elaborate set piece. But I want it displayed, rather than have a print of it, I want it to be displayed on a big screen, like 55-inch screen, let's say. And every so often, every like minute or 2 minutes, it just briefly flashes from Anakin to Darth Vader before going back to Anakin. So it'll just sit there for the longest time, and then every so often it'll just flick to Anakin. It'd have to be like a GIF sort of a scenario, and I would have to learn how to make GIFs. But that hopes and dreams. I hope to be able to make that happen before the show happens. So if anybody has any information or any insight on how I can make that happen, please feel free. Superhero landing pose? I mean, I know you kid. And I think I could do it. Let's see. Oh, I'm very nervous touching this hair. Oh, I could totally do that. Okay, we're gonna do it. Christopher speaks, and I listen. I guess it also would depend on how much legroom we've got here, which ain't much. That could happen. All right. I mean, it's not my figure. If it breaks. Oh, God, I'm going to hell for that one. No, it's not going to be able to do it. It's a fine idea, Christopher, but it won't twist that much. And what it won't do is it won't crunch. I feel like there must be... There's no real... I'm feeling around back here, and I'm not feeling enough of a break in the upper torso for it to lean forward like that. I don't know. Has anybody else done this? I mean, I could get close. Let's see. Pardon my silence while I figure this out. Huh. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Maybe. Let's see if I've got the right hand for it. That's a force-wielding hand. Let's go ahead and get rid of this grip. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Let's go and get that saber blade out. Blue. That was easy. Yeah, that's kind of got it. Right? Just kind of spread those legs out a little bit more. They don't have much lateral motion. The legs don't. But yeah, that's something. All right. Oh God, I don't have. Oh. I'm a goofball. I don't think I have out here a cable that will work for. Yeah, that's something else. That one's for plugging in. Oh, will that work? That is, in fact, a USB-C cable, but it's not long enough. I'm going to have to go back to the studio really quick and grab the proper cable. So, yeah. You're back. Because I want those lights. You think 10 feet is long enough? Man, I'm just kicking stuff all over the place. Oh, crap. That's right. I'll have to plug it in down here. Ah! So the beach sheet. All right. I don't know what I did with the cable for this, so I'm not going to be able to do what I wanted to do. It's a sad day. Unless this is the cable I'm looking for. It is the cable that I'm looking for. No, it's not. I have so many USB to USB-C cables, but not enough USB-C to USB-C cables in that length. And I don't remember what I did with the one that I need. Anyway, so we'll just have to do this particular one without showing off the lights, without showing off the power lightsaber hilt. So yeah, that works. If you wanted to do that. The downside is that the boot, I don't know if you can tell there, but the boot is where the top of the boot is where the resting point is. He's not actually landing on his knee, but I think that's not really much of an issue. It still looks pretty cool. just need a super battle droid. Man, I actually have a super battle droid. I have 2, but I haven't unboxed either of them. I think I know where they are, but it would take a full minute at least for me to go downstairs and get them. And that's assuming that they're exactly where I think that they are. All right, so there's one pose down, and it's only 10:30. I've got another half an hour to kill. Maybe the same leg position, but both blades crossed just in front of him as if he was stopping a blade coming close to his head. Yeah, maybe. I think I know what you're talking about. Like this. I would have to bring the blade up. And this hand would have to be able to reach. Yeah, I think, man, it would be tight. Yeah, I think I can do it. Swap a hand. This could become a new segment. Tell me what pose to hit. Will it hit this pose? Okay, and rotate it up. Bring it in. Anakin is right-handed for the most part, so that means his right hand goes at the top end of the saber, so this needs to come around. I'm going to work. Not a lot of room to maneuver on that wrist peg. Get you in there. Get you in there. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and there we go. Just like that. Yeah, I think I would like to get the blade more parallel. Get it up a little bit more. I think I'm starting to understand how this hair, not this hair, is coming off of the scalp. I think that people aren't being careful. They're doing what I just did, which is to exert pressure on the head instead of. I think that the best way to pose this thing is to focus on squeezing right there at the jaw, at the base of the jaw, or the cheeks. Just hit the actual plastic parts of the head when you're articulating the head. God. Speaking of articulating, I'm gonna have a hard time articulating myself today. Yeah, and if you do that, then you don't put pressure on that hair, and you resist. You run less of a chance of actually causing damage. God, just the position of those eyes, the way that I've got his eye position right now, there's so many things that you can do with it. Being able to pose the eyes on these figures has moved from being a pain in the ass for me to being indispensable for the storytelling in the posing that I do. I'm going to try to part his legs a little bit here because I don't like, yeah, it was too straight up and down. So yeah, that's it. That's really cool. That was a great idea, Tony. Thank you. Yeah. There are days when I'll do that. Doesn't it look cool? You guys have great ideas, man. I'm going to start a pool. That pose looks like it would be quite safe to leave on a shelf for an extended period. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, nothing's really being stressed. The only points of articulation are right here where the fabric is. Yeah. Any other suggestions? Definitely more cowbell. Sorry. Well, I think that's 46 view. That's the first time we've had 46 in a long time. Oh, if only we had a speeder. If only we had a speeder. That's really cool. Like I'm looking at it right now as a possible photograph. See, that's the other thing. This is This is the other thing that can happen when you accidentally or just out of habit put your finger on the hair when you're articulating the head, is that you will knock a stray hair loose, and that just totally ruins the vibe. So yeah, don't do that. Don't do what I'm doing. Yeah. God, this is a great figure. I'm so glad I got this. Okay. Sounds like a cinematograph on an endless loop. I don't know what a cinematograph is, but if that's what I just described, then yeah, I will have to look that up. I will definitely drop you a note, Mike. Thank you. You and Rob, we're gonna talk. Oh, that would be cool. Like a three-way lenticular, so that like 2/3 of it you see Anakin, but on the third, because I know they have three-ways out there. God, yeah, Keith, they've got three-ways out there. You know. As someone who also has it in hand, there's so much product in the hair, it would take a lot to mess up that hair. Yeah, dude, it's practically glued into position. It's but at the same time, it's not in such a way where you can see the product. It's invisible. It's only, you can only tell it's there tactily. You have to actually lay your hands on it. They are looking upwards. Here, I'll show you. Let's get that closer. Take that comment down so we can see more of the figure. Oh, that might vainglorious. Yeah. Ugh. Hayden Christensen's look from below the brows, man, is borderline unparalleled. He pulls it off nicely. I don't know, man. Oh, we can talk. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, David. Some names I haven't seen here in a while. And thank you to, I think it was Bitter Troll and Tony who suggested this, the combination of the two. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and do the pose that I said that I was going to do. Although it's going to be very difficult for me to break this one down, because it's really cool. But at least now I know I can do it when I get my own. Okay, what this does do, what that pose does do, is it crunches the tabards, squeezes them together, so you lose that smooth look to them. So I'm thinking that if you leave that in that pose for a very long time, what would wind up happening is you would get a permanent crease in the material of the tabards. Same with this one that I'm about to do. So that might be something to think about before you move forward into that. And let me just go ahead and drop this head here. Again, I'm trying to avoid touching his hair, and I don't think that I can. It's funny because I don't have to do much different to do this other pose that I wanted to do. It's very close to where I was. Move that forward a little bit. Get that right leg forward, left leg back a little bit more. Create that firm foundation so that it can stand on its own. And then once that happens, you can bring in the attitude. Bit of a torso crunch. Lean the torso a bit to his left. How much can I make this arm go without breaking it? Hashtag not my figure. I think that's got it. Wow, this figure can pose. This figure can pose, man. I mean, it has got attitude, and it can stand on its own. Those joints are super stiff. Yeah. Get up there, man. And now we've got him actually on the base. Wow. It's a good looking figure, y'all. And again, this is that person who left that crappy comment on the video. You can't argue with this. This is what Anakin, this is what Hayden Christian looks like when he's wielding his lightsaber. He's tall. He's got a lot of upward mobility that he's able to do. He's very dexterous with the way that he controls his lightsaber, but you don't see him doing a lot into like deep squats. There's not a lot of Darth Maul-esque action to the way that he does things. Nor is there in Darth Vader. I mean, you don't see Darth Vader really going super crazy with the deep lunging poses and the huge, squat to standing upright. It's, yeah. That's the great thing about these things, is that once you undo it, you can do it again. And you could arguably want to do this pose a little bit deeper, just a bit deeper. But if you did that, then you run the risk of the feet going off of the base, which I don't want to do. They really are, Keith. They really, really are. Thanks, man. All in non-museum poses. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I really worry about the shelf space when it comes to non-museum poses, because when I do my action poses and non-museum poses, as you just saw, they can get a little bit real estate intensive. Is that a new phrase that I just created? I don't know. But yeah, I've got Boba in an action pose over there, and I've got anybody else? Oh God, what I've got going on with K2, with the KX Enforcer droid and the Mandalorian, Death Watch Mandalorian is so over the top that those two figures take up an entire Detolf shelf on their own. In fact, there wasn't enough room. I had to take the gun out of the hands of the KX Enforcer droid. You've been mistaken about me pose. I don't know what that is. Geek card revoked. What time is it? 10:42. You guys mind if I go ahead and call it a day? I feel like hitting 2.5 poses, because I feel I don't want to say that modification of the first pose was a totally different pose. It was more like that happened and then he brought it back, or vice versa. Yeah, 2 poses in sequence. All right, guys. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and call it a day and get my dog on a walk and then prep myself for this evening's Revenge of the Sith screening at a local theater. You guys have a good weekend. Have a good weekend between that weekend and next weekend. And until next time, be good to your plastic.